Welcome back to the First Time Home Buying Show with Gizmo. This show where one of the hosts is wondering, why aren't doghouses part of the FHA 203K loan updates? Well, doghouses sort of are, but let's get to those updates because there are 5 major updates. First, let's talk about what the 203K loan program is. I'm gonna give you a quick overview. If you want more details, I have like a 20-minute video that I'll link in the comments. So it allows you to roll all the renovation costs into the loan when purchasing a home, and this is a huge with a game changer, as they say, because it allows you to buy the ugliest home in the block but also turn it into one of the better homes in the block, so you can kind of have literally built-in equity. So when you use a traditional loan, the lender will only loan you the lower of the sales price or the appraised value. So you can purchase the ugly home in the block, but you're not going to have the money to renovate it. And also, they're kind of deal breakers when it comes to traditional loans. So like if there's structural issues with the property, the lender will not finance that purchase. Even if you have the money to actually do the repairs, you just can't use a loan at all to buy the property. So there's 2 major types of 203K loans. There's a limited and there's a standard. So the biggest difference is the limited is for like cosmetic changes. So think like flooring, rugs, or carpet, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Minor updates and renovations to the bathroom. You can actually do a roof as well. So when we're talking about the standard, that's the big boy version. That's where you can like add additions to a property. That's when you can actually do full-fledged renovations, like take the property down to the studs and turn it and kind of buy that ghost house or that crickety house and then turn it into a gym. So the major difference, think about it, if the individual repairs are going to take more than a day, it probably falls under the standard. But I'll have a list in the description over what's like. Think about it like if someone's putting down carpet. So the whole renovation itself, if you're doing a bunch of stuff, may take obviously going to take more than a day. But carpet, that takes a day to do. Like if you're putting a new mirror into a bathroom, that takes a day to do. If you're totally renovating, ripping out the tub, putting in new counters and things like that, that's going to take more than a day, so that falls under the standard. Like the only exception to this kind of quick rule I'm giving you is that with the limited, you can also do plumbing as well. But let's get into the updates. I noticed I never explained the doghouse line from the beginning of the show, which I'm sure you have been waiting on the edge of your seats for the answer. Well, as part of the standard or the limited, you can replace the door to the house. Instead of a regular door, you can put a doggy door. There goes the answer to the question you've all been waiting for. Back to the show. So the first major update is the amount of repairs for the limited has been greatly increased. So with a limited version of the 203K, you could only roll in $35,000 in repairs. And these updates go into effect June 9th, 2024. So if your repairs were going to be more than $35,000, even if they were all kind of cosmetic, you had to use the limited. Now that cap has gone up to $75,000. And so one thing I think is going to be very interesting with this huge change in the limit is that with a standard, you had to have a FHA 203K loan consultant, meaning that basically there's a person that comes in that knows what they're doing. They evaluate the repairs. They make sure that the contractor is actually on point and not just kind of hustling you. And so with the limited, you didn't need that because the repairs were just kind of small cosmetics, small projects. But now you can go all the way up to $75,000 still without the need for that consultant. And just think about, I guess you think about horror stories, but just like real life. I mean, if your repair limit, if you're doing like $30,000 in repairs, let's say, and there's like a 10% like overrun in the cost, the estimate on the repairs, which just some people try to hustle, contractors, but just people may underestimate, right? And the 10% will be what, $3,000. But now if you're going up to $70,000, 10% is $7,000, right? So think about like with the overrun in repairs, like, and you still don't have like a consultant on your side to like speak up for you or your behalf and kind of help you manage the project. So that's where it can get a little bit hairy. And so by no means do you not have to hire a 203K consultant if you're still using the limited. But a tip I got from guy Houston Vintage Homes is make sure when you're hiring a contractor, whether you're doing a 2 or 3K loan or just doing a small project like in your house, hire a consultant or somebody to look over the shoulder of the person that's actually doing the repairs, because one of two things happens. One, they may catch something. Two, they know that somebody that's also like a subject matter expert is actually reviewing the project as well. So where they may think, hey, I can maybe hustle this person, or I can skimp costs, or I can get one over on them. They're like, okay, maybe I can get one over on this civilian that has no idea what they're doing, but I can't get one over on my fellow professional. So that's just a tip in general, whether it's a 2 or 3K loan or not. Make sure you have a person that's there, that's a subject matter expert, not just your dad, or maybe if you don't got the money, you can have a friend that has, some equipment, some gloves and a clipboard and some goggles to put on that can look like they know the part. Worst case scenario, you can have them like stop by every now and then and review the project and be like, just walking around. And that person doing the repairs may think they know what they're talking about. And obviously you should be showing up to check out your repairs as well. Looking to buy in the next 6 months? Click the link down below and get connected with one of my trusted partners to help you through the home buy process. Not looking the next 6 months? Still click the link. It's always better to be ready and not need it than to need it and not be ready. Back to the show. And speaking of that consultant, you got to pay for them. So previously you were not allowed to roll the cost of the 2 or 3K consultant, which is once again required for the standard, into the loan. So depending on the type of renovations, depending on the cost of the renovations, it can be like maybe $3,000-$4,000. So now you can roll those costs into the loan. And this is covered in the long version of the 2 or 3K loan I did. How the repairs, how the limit works just overall is the FHA loan limit is $498,000 and change. So let's say you purchase a home for $300,000. Now you can roll up to $198,000 of repairs. You can do up to $198,000 in repairs. You of course by no means have to hit the limit. Always stay within your budget. And so that consists of repairs. Now that consists of the consultant fee. It also consists of, with the standard, you can roll currently up to 6 months of mortgage payments into the loan as well. Hey, now you can actually roll 12 months of mortgage payments into the loan for the standard 203K loan. And you'll see why, as I explain later in the video, how the timeline has increased. One thing to note, that's because the property is uninhabitable for repairs for up to 12 months. If repairs are going to take 4 months, you can't just roll 12 months of mortgage payments into the loan. Now, you may be thinking, what about the standard or the limited, excuse me? Well, remember, with the limited, you're not doing major repairs, so there's no reason for the property to be uninhabitable for months and months on end. So you can't roll those mortgage payments into the loan for the limited, unfortunately. However, the property is allowed to be uninhabitable due to repairs for up to 30 days, which is important because remember, the FHA loan is a primary residence loan, meaning that you have to move into the property right away. Now, back to the information. Because think about it, if you're doing like a huge repair, you probably got to stay somewhere else while you're doing the renovation. So it prevents you from having to, you still have like obviously 2 payments at a time if you may be renting a property from somebody, but it allows you to roll to at least to finance those mortgage payments, so you're not actually coming out of pocket for 2 whole payments. So that's a huge deal there. And speaking of that timeline for renovations, with the limited, the timeline that you can take to do the renovations has been increased to 9 months. So which makes sense, right? They're allowing more renovations. They're allowing more money towards renovations, which means most likely renovations will take longer. So they're extending that time period for the limited to 9 months and for the standard out to 12 months. Oh yeah, let's jump back to that consultant fee as well, that you're now able to roll into the loan. Well, the fees have actually increased for the first time since 1995. This could be a bigger deal, do you think? Because depending on the size of the loan, scope of the work, the consultant fees can be between like $2,000 and $4,000. Yeah, so those are the updates. If you have any more questions, drop them down in the comments or shoot me an email. But as always, buy land, rumor has it they're not making any more of it. All right, everybody.